everybody, well this is Gayle. Welcome to my Bodacious channel. I have a question from a young lady that I have known for years now, and she wants to know what I'm doing to stay safe during the pandemic while I am traveling. Let me insert a screenshot of her email right here. And she's right. As I record this video, Tennessee is topping the United States right now in the coronavirus transmission and possibly even topping the world. Not a good place to be. Okay, so I talked with her offline where she did give me permission to share that email. I'm going to talk about some things that I'm doing to try to be a little safer while Tennessee COVID rate is spiking. But I also want to get your feedback. If you have suggestions on how to stay safer, please leave those comments down below because we can learn from each other that way. So don't hold back, drop those comments. She references that in a video she saw me wearing a mask. I will wear them a day or half a day, and then whenever they get dirty or moist, I put them in a little bag and bring them home, and they go directly into the washing machine. If I'm traveling, if I'm doing van life or RV life, then the mask goes straight into the washing machine that I have with me in just really hot water. Every time I go out, I have a fresh mask. And by the way, this would be a good time for you to subscribe to the channel if you've not already done so. Also, a couple of things that I do at restaurants. One starts with the antibacterial wipes and wiping everything down. There is something that I do about the menu, but I also make sure that we go to a restaurant that has social distancing. Or I will look up the menu ahead of time on my cell phone so I know what I want before I go in. So I'm minimizing what I'm going to handle. Then I sit down, we place the order, and everything gets wiped down with a sanitizing wipe. We're talking about the table surface, the table edges, the whole 9 yards. But the thing about Tennessee is we are 100% open for business. Restaurants are at full capacity with no restrictions on dining except for 4 counties, which don't have to follow the state health department and can put some restrictions in place. The governor did allow county mayors to be able to enact a mask mandate, which I've not seen happening, so I don't know if that's still in effect or not. So guess what? When I go out, I try to go to those cities, unless I'm in Virginia or North Carolina, where there are more, or Kentucky, where I just was, where there are more restrictions in place as far as gathering. I always have sanitizer with me. Whenever I spray my hands, I do wipe down the outside of the bottle as well as my hands. Make sure I get everything good and moist because that way I'm sanitizing the outside of the bottle. So the next time I go to use it, it should be relatively clean. And if not, I wipe it down with a cleaning wipe. Now, the advantage of having a RV and a van camper is huge right now. Or the van camper, like you see here, you've got everything you need to take care of your personal needs, so no need to risk going into a rest area or gas station bathroom. Of course, I can't take the RV with me all the time, but I do try to take the van camper as much as possible. Now, there are times when I have to spend the night in a hotel, like when I went to Kentucky the other day. And I minimize the risk there by spraying everything down with the disinfectant spray and wiping all the door handles and remote off with the wipes. The next day, my daughter and her husband brought breakfast to me. So I asked the lady at the breakfast if I could just take something with me for later, and she said yes. So I grabbed a couple of things. It was a little unorthodox, but I had lunch on the road, and I didn't have to stop for lunch. Without having to stop, when I do stop for gas or so forth, I do make sure that I use a plastic Walmart type grocery sack for a glove and get gas that way, so I'm not actually touching the pump. And then when I get back in, if I've got the van or the RV, it's just a matter of washing my hands. Otherwise, wipes, sanitizer, And the big thing that you heard me say is Kentucky, North Carolina, South Carolina. That's where I've been in the past few months. And Virginia, all of which have a lower COVID transmission rate than Tennessee does. But I don't want to take a chance that I've got something and take it out with me. So what I did was I ordered groceries, stayed home a few days, got a COVID test, came back and repeated the process, got another COVID test, all was negative. I think one of the most important things that I'm doing right now, and you see it in the Christmas lights video that I just did in Abingdon, Virginia, and that social distancing in general. There's nobody else in the video in Abingdon when we're out looking at the Christmas lights. There's nobody else on the beach, so it's kind of deserted, lots of social distancing there. But I would like to have your tips for traveling more safely during the pandemic, especially since Tennessee is number one right now in the country in the COVID transmission rate, and even number one in the world. But leave me your suggestions on how to travel safely during the pandemic down in the description box below, because nobody wants to get COVID. And if you leave those suggestions down there, then we're going to help each other out and learn from each other. And hey, if you haven't given me a like already on the video, go ahead and do that. And make sure you subscribe, because that really helps me out with the YouTube algorithms. And remember, it is always on this channel all about hashtag #BeBodacious, which means you're not going to let life get in the way of living. Even though we may have to make some adjustments sometimes, we're not going to let it get in the way. Thanks for watching. Check out the videos popping up on the screen right now, and I am going to see you on the next video. Bye.